So you thought you'd heard everything there is to know about the Black Armory expansion? Well, maybe not. Today, we've got even more Destiny 2 Black Armory stuff to jump in and talk about. In this video, we're going to break down new information about a quest for the last word inside of the DLC. We've got a breakdown of a whole bunch of new items that you'll be able to pick up from the vendor Ada 1 inside of Black Armory. And this includes new materials, new quest steps, bounties, and a whole bunch more. We're going to talk about new mods coming inside of this DLC. We have some interesting new interviews with Bungie where we get some new bits of information. We'll talk about Season 5 triumphs, a new title in the Black Armory, and even some interesting new enemy variants that we'll see inside of this expansion, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So if you guys do enjoy this video, a rating really helps me out down below. But now let's get into it. So of course yesterday, we got a whole bunch of new information about this DLC, including a look at new exotics. One of the more mysterious ones would be the returning last word. So we can see some interesting new visuals for this one. And Bungie showed us a character standing next to Callum's grave, and this of course featured in the Malfeasance quest, but we actually have a Forsaken calendar here, and it confirms that the last word quest will indeed be a time-gated element that will drop in January of 2019. So it'll be on the 29th of January. The new exotic quest, The Draw, will go live. And this is where we'll actually acquire the last word. And this correlates, interestingly, with something that Anon the 9 said. They said the last word would not immediately be available when Black Armory launches. So there you have it. Last word will have its own exotic quest dropping on the 29th of January. On the subject of the last word, though, it does appear that we can see the exotic intrinsic bonus for this in the database. So it's called Fanfire. This weapon can be fired quickly and continuously, faster reload, and increased accuracy on successive hip-fire damage. So a little bit of a rework right there on exactly how this works, but definitely appears to belong to last word right there. Also in the database, there are a bunch of exotic quest steps. So we've got things like Lock and Key, as well as Mysterious Box, an ornate box with 4 locks. Each lock has a different symbol emblazoned on it. So some of what we're seeing here is definitely going to be how we'll acquire at least some of the gear inside of Black Armory itself. But also here, they show off a bunch of different forges that we'll gain access to. So 2 new forges on the first week, December 4th and 7th. Also on December 7th, the new raid will launch. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. We've got the Dawning on December 11th, and then a new forge launching on December 18th. And I guess then things will go a little bit quieter until the beginning of January with something called Niobe Labs. Looks like it will probably be another forge. Either way, the content for Black Armory is going to roll out into January. And then of course we have Crimson Days in February, and they'll probably be talking about the next update because that drops on March 4th. So it's going to be a very busy year by the looks of things. But now we get a new look at a bunch of inventory items that Ada 1 will have in the Black Armory. So of course this is the new vendor, and there are a ton of different materials that they'll actually have in their inventory. So initially we have key molds for the Black Armory. One of the descriptions reads, the mold first requires a material that comes only from watchers on the Leviathan, harvest parts from every watcher in the underbelly of Leviathan, and another, the mold now requires a material known as glimmering amethyst. You can find concentrates of it in supply caches, public event chests, and strike chests, and then stoke the Baguzia forge in the EDZ to its fullest to achieve maximum temper status, and then complete the forge ignition to obtain the Black Armory key. So it looks like this is actually going to be one of the ways we acquire weapons from the Black Armory, and this links with what Bungie said about actually using the forge to forge our own weapons over time. There will also be frames for different weapons, a Radiant auto rifle frame. Craft the Black Armory auto rifle by completing a Volunda forge ignition. So it gives us a bit of an idea of how we'll obtain different weapons. But there are other materials, a basic machine gun frame, salvage a weapon core from a forge saboteur in the EDZ, and charge it with compound ether obtained from Fallen. This is actually a quest step, but then we have a bunch of what are called weapon frames in this collection, and we can see that they have very unique icons. All of them are listed as classified, but it looks like these will actually ultimately reward Black Armory's weapons and potentially exotics as well. But Ada will have different weekly bounties. She'll also sell mod components, that will certainly be useful. And there are multiple different quest strains actually listed for this vendor as well. So it looks like we're going to get some really exciting stuff in Black Armory, and it's going to be cool to check out exactly how it all works. In Bungie's Vidoc, we got a look at the threat level, a new shotgun, and here they actually preview some new mods that will be coming in this DLC as well. So quick access sling, swap weapons much faster for a short duration after emptying the magazine, surrounded spec, increase the damage granted by surrounded, bonus damage lingers for a brief time when no longer surrounded by 3 or more enemies, Dragonfly spec, which increases the radius and damage of Dragonfly, Rampage spec, which increases the duration of rampage, sprint grip, temporarily increases the weapon's ready speed and aim down sight speed after sprinting, and radar booster, which increases the range at which radar detects enemies, which is a pretty interesting one. Another cool element here is that quite a few of these actually interact directly with trait bonuses that you can roll on legendary weapons, so definitely a bit different. Let me know your thoughts on those down below. Also on the subject of new content, there are new triumphs for Black Armory. And Spooky Dog on Reddit listed a bunch that you can find in the companion app. Spoiler alert, we do get a name for the new raid lair, and it's called Scourge of the Past. It appears that forges will have different triumphs as well, and there are ones linked to EDZ and Nessus, various triumphs for completing Black Armory bounties, and of course some for the Dawning that we're likely to see as well. Now though, let's speak about various new interviews that Bungie have done regarding Black Armory. So talking to PlayStation Lifestyle, Deej said, "The next raid is something that takes place in a brand new setting. It's a place you've never been able to explore and fight, and we're sending you in headfirst to confront the biggest challenges and earn the best rewards that we have in the game. Raids come in different shapes and sizes. What you'll be playing is much larger than a raid lair, but not as large in scope and size as something like Last Wish, which was the biggest raid that we've ever created. It's an activity that we feel is deserving of the word raid, especially because it happens in a completely new location." So some cool insights right there. Of course, this is happening in the city, and I'm certainly interested to see what the lore element of this will be. But PC Gamer asked Deej a bunch of different questions regarding this update. Firstly, are machine guns going to get ammo reserve and scavenger perks? And Deej said yes. And interestingly, in the database you can actually see a bunch of these bonuses, so machine gun dexterity, the loader bonuses, reserves, scavenger, targeting, and steadfast machine gun, which reduces hit flinch from incoming fire while aiming machine guns. And I've seen a few reports of these bonuses actually dropping on gear right now, which is pretty cool. But PC Gamer asked, will you be bringing more Year 1 legendary gear and armor to bulk out the loophole? And Deej said we don't need to, so I'm guessing that's a hint towards the amount of content in this update. But speaking to the wrap, Deej actually spoke about some of the campaign and this story kind of approach with this expansion. So he said the Black Armory is not a campaign, it's a place, and it's a source of new rewards, new forms of power, new mods for weapons, and new armor. It's a place where you'll meet Ada 1, who is a new story agent. She's an exo and a relic from a lost golden age where there was a culture of blacksmiths that was founded by 3 separate families. Our goal is to provide players with different things to do week over week in the game, and to change that conversation the way we did with the Dreaming City. The Black Armory has its own culture for you to learn and understand. It has its own secrets from the golden age for you to recover and add to your collection. You're going to learn about the gunsmiths from the golden age, from Norse, French, and Japanese lineage. You're going to understand Ada 1's backstory, and that's going to be the experience that we're setting players up. So I thought that was just some interesting feedback right there from Bungie, and some insights into their approach with Black Armory. Also something that you may have missed in Bungie's Vidoc reveal just yesterday, there will actually be a new title seal with Black Armory, and this is called Blacksmith. We can see it on the character right there. And although we can't see all of the requirements, it does say complete all Black Armory triumphs in order to actually unlock this. So it'll be interesting to see if it's different from many of the other seals that we've had in the game. There's been a lot of conversation about RNG being involved with these seals, but Blacksmith will indeed be a new title in this DLC. It also appears that there are going to be some pretty interesting and unique enemies involved in this as well. We can see right here what looks like some kind of unusual modified Fallen. A little bit kind of Sievery, but with a white skin, and with these red LEDs for eyes. I say Fallen because it kind of looks like a Vandal. You've got the arms there as well, but definitely some bizarre kind of mutated enemy type right there. And Bungie haven't said all that much about new enemy types that we'd actually see inside of this DLC, so it'll be interesting to see exactly what those are about. Now a couple of final random shouts right here. It appears that players have found the upcoming Dawning Sparrow a little bit early, and it's actually appearing as a thumbnail image next to the does not compute. This is Scout Rifle from back in Year 1, so obviously this is a bit of a bug, but definitely a Dawning theme on that thing, kind of a winter sleigh theme going on, I suppose. But of course yesterday I did post videos with all of the patch notes, all of the breakdowns for the DLC reveal itself, a new hidden area inside of the tower which appears to have been expanded, and this looks like where we'll actually see the Black Armory vendor housed. On top of this, there is another glitch in Nessus. This one's posted by the amazing Mr. Zach. You can see that this is a new bubble location, and you've actually got the object where you would interact with the Forge, so I'm not sure if this is actually where you would play the Forge mode, or if this is simply a patrol area where you can actually access the new Forges modes. But there are a whole bunch of interesting things hidden in the database and in the game right now. There are also some enemies that you might spot in patrol that have names associated with Black Armory, so it's always cool to get a little preview of some stuff early. But guys, for now, that is going to summarize today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. As always, if you have, let me know your thoughts down below. Any stuff you're looking forward to in the upcoming DLC. Also, a like is very much appreciated down below. Really helps me out on the channel. And if you are new around here, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more Destiny 2 content. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on anything. But for now, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll catch you very soon.